Hi, I'm Emily, and my speech is on why veganism is important. Foods that have been the most prevalent type of food in people's standard diet has been meat and dairy. Veganism as a whole is the ideology of excluding everything that stems from animals. This includes clothing, food, and entertainment. There are abundant amounts of reasons why veganism is important. The world is no longer able to provide the surplus of food that it once did, and people are dying from diseases that are linked to people consuming animal byproducts in their diet. Veganism will not automatically solve all of this, but it is one efficient step to making a difference. You can also influence others by doing this. One big reason people tend to turn towards veganism is for the overall sentiment that what they're consuming was a living thing, who lived, breathed, and lived a life of its own in a sense, or at least had the capability to live one. Not many people recognize the underlying brutality that there is behind their consumption of animals, and that is the journey of what occurred before they ended up on their plate. Many animals like cows, fish, chickens, and other animals have the same journey we do, and that is being born into this world and growing up in it. Just because they can't speak their rights to feeling, their feelings shouldn't automatically be compromised. The rough reality is the crude life some of these animals are born into. That life of immediately being held in a compacted cage, getting boxed up and ready to be consumed. People would be appalled at the truth that is an animal's reality, all the while turning a blind eye. One of the most beneficial reasons to go vegan is for the benefits it has on your overall health. Meat and dairy are automatically harder for the body to break down because bodies aren't meant to digest such difficult foods. Your body digestive system immediately obtains better digestion once effectively cutting out these foods. Personally, being from New Orleans, we have a tradition that is pretty brutal, and that's the cooking of crawfish. Crawfish boils are a tradition in New Orleans, and when it's crawfish season, every single week people have things called crawfish boils. It's like really embedded in our culture. It's a really prevalent thing that people like to do. It's kind of how people hang out. Like, some people have pool parties, but we have crawfish boils. And so a really inhumane thing about these boils is that, like, pounds and pounds of crawfish are bought, and the way they're cooked is they're boiled alive. So that, to me, I've always questioned why that was okay. It's not. Veganism is also a way to almost completely deplete inflammation. Dairy, like cheeses and certain meats, contain high amounts of sodium, which increase inflammation tremendously. Once going vegan, you also eradicate other unhealthy choices, like eating overly processed foods at fast food restaurants. Another reason for how beneficial it is for the environment, eating meat not only has a detrimental effect on the animal and our health, it also poses multiple threats to our very surroundings, the home we live in. The very factories that animals run through are extremely problematic. Deforestation is an effect of these companies expending their need for land to house and feed these animals. It just completely chips away at our environment because of the pesticides that are put into animals' foods. There is so much research going into the benefits of a meat-free diet and of how the consumption of burgers is just helping decay your health and overall being. Something that is inevitably led to and encouraged while doing veganism is a plant-based diet. Plant-based diets are inexplicably beneficial to not just keeping a consistent weight without necessary exercise, but also can deplete any chances from hormone-related weight gain due to the lack of inflammation you're intaking. Going vegan also eliminates illnesses you can obtain from meat. Diseases and illnesses like swine flu are caused by contaminated meats. Though not recognized, meat eaters often become extremely indifferent to how consistent it is what they're eating. Many have palates that are not expanded and often fall into the repetition of consuming the same thing involving meat. I find this to be true because once you start stepping out of that norm of having a diet that revolves around burgers and fried chicken, overall, if you eat plant-based, your overall mood will be increased, and that's not just stemming from the beneficial results of veganism, but also because of the healthy, non-inflammatory foods you will consistently get used to digesting. Vegan plant-based dieting is the way to not just go for yourself or your environment, but also for the very animal itself. And a lot of people refute this. A lot of people will be like, you're not saving another animal by doing veganism, but it's not just about that, obviously. It's about all these other things. So